How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be unboxing a fan shroud that I bought made of carbon fiber for my engine bay. So we're going to open that up and then get it in the car. Look at that. All the carbon fiber weave. This thing is so light. So now we're going to open up the support packages with this wire harness and the switch for the fans. We have some mounting bolts. Alright, we're moving on to, I believe that these are the fans. Some hefty fans right there. So these are 12-inch fans that I'll be mounting on the underside of this. So in addition to the fan shroud, I also got some stuff from Greddy, so we're just going to open that right up. You got a Greddy oil filler cap here, nice blue color to match everything else. Oh, and it came with the limited edition black cap here. Came with a little, I think it's an oil cap tool to help take the oil cap off. And I also got Greddy radiator cap to match. Alright, so we're just going to take the old oil cap off down here. It's really not noticeable. It's hard to see. We're going to put the new one on. So this is my new oil cap. I need to put the decal in there. But this one is aluminum, so a little higher build quality, and it's going to look a lot better. So after you get the cap on there tight enough, you're going to set the cap down on there so it's symmetrical, like nice and straight, just so it looks good. So just got the Greddy oil filler cap put on there. I absolutely love the color. It's matching everything in the engine bay. Now I'm going to go over and replace the Blitz cap there with the Greddy one that I just got. I'm going to see potentially if I like this one better. If I don't, I might just keep the Blitz one on just because it is that blue theme that I very much enjoy. All right, we're going to take this one off really quick now. It's a little wet in there.
Oh yeah.
Let's get this one put on there. So I have the silver cap set on top of the black one, but honestly guys, I'm thinking that I like the Blitz cap that I have a little bit better, just because it matches everything. It's got the silver that matches my strut bar, the blue to match, well, everything. So I think that I'm just gonna put the Blitz cap back on there, and that'll be the one that I stick with. All right, so I got the new oil cap put on there, and I decided to stick with the old one, as you guys know, because I just think it looks a lot better. It matches the theme a lot more. But now I'm going to start getting ready for the install of the fan shroud that I'm going to have on the back side of my engine lid. So I'm going to go on the inside and start taking out the interior pieces to expose the wires. Alright, so basically what I'm going to be doing is removing this black plate, it's a rain guard, from the underside of my lid. I'm going to be taking the lid out of the off of the car and installing the fans to it in the house. And then I have to wire the fans, which requires me to run wires from the front over here. So this is where the battery is. I'm going to be running it through my car, through the underside of the dashboard and down the centerpiece in the car. That's where the wire harness runs through into the back of my car. And I'll be wiring the switch up next to my fog light, as there's already this missing piece down here. So step one will be disassembly. So we're going to be taking the engine lid off, the front strut bar, and this plastic cover here just to have easier access. And then we're gonna take out that center console in the car so I can run the wires.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have to take this sensor here off of the lid. I'm gonna take the strut out, and then it's just these 4 bolts holding in the lid. I'll be able to pop that right out. So I'm gonna be taking out the screws down on the sides here so I can take out the center console, because I'm gonna be running the wires through this console to the back. I've got Evan and Derek helping me remove the engine lid so I can install the fans on it.
Evan and I would kill each other if we worked together, like, long term. You fuck! Hey, what's up, guys? It's Derek doing a little background footage for Brendan real quick. One thing I wanted to say is we had this engine temperature sensor. Just going to remove this bracket right here. We're going to run it under the air box and just right over to about here, zip tie it somewhere around here, just so it's kind of functional where it was. I don't think it does all that much, but good to have it because it's factory spec. So I actually think this is a pretty decent little spot. I mean, I'm going to cut the zip tie and it should be good to go. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Derek again. So what I'm going to do for Brendan right now while he's tearing apart his interior is it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Phillips head screws that we're going to take off to take this metal panel off. And then there's just the 2 Allen key beauty bolts that essentially we put in. And this metal lid should come off. All right, guys, so that has just come off now. Got a couple Japanese leaves. I like that. Yeah, those are crisp. Well, all right, guys, so over here, Brendan has picked up these longer beauty bolts. He'll tell you a little bit more about them. But these are titanium bolts. They're a little lighter, and they're just aesthetically pleasing, essentially. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to take the fan shroud and run a bolt through the top of here. So this is why you had to take the lid off. And on the other... Hold on. And on the other side of the fan, down on each one of these circle rings, I'm pretty sure, are where the nuts and bolts will go. On this side will be the nut. And that's what's going to pretty much hold the fan to the carbon fiber shroud, and then we'll bolt the carbon fiber shroud to the lid. So essentially, this is how the carbon fiber shroud is going to look. There is a spacing in between the nut and the bolt right here. So what we're going to have to do there is run this little spacer. So we're going to run our bolt, put the spacer in between the fan and the carbon fiber shroud, and then run our nut on the back side, if that all kind of makes sense there. Well, all right, guys, we're on the inside of the fan shroud now where, you can see the fans. The outside is the other side that's going to be facing towards you when the lid is open. And right here with these wires, what we're going to do is we're going to run these 2 positive wires together into one butt connector and then run 1 wire out. And then the same for the grounds. We're going to wire those wires into one connector and run it out this hole. All right, guys, so to give you a good idea, we use butt connectors and we use some heat to shrink them. Now I'm going to use electrical tape as an extra measure, but the blue wire is a positive, so I ran some speaker wire that has an indication of positive. So the blue wire with the white on it is our positive. I wired this wire to this wire, this little blue one, and then it goes into one, and it's going out to what's going to be inside the cabin of the car. Same thing for the negative, so I'm going to wrap this up with electrical tape, probably put a little zip tie around the spacer in this to kind of hold it in place, keep it sturdy, probably here as well, and we're going to put this down on the lid and mount it up. All right, guys, so we've laid down the carbon fiber panel with the fans in it. This is looking so sick already, and we're putting in the black screws for now. Brendan had some dress-up bolts, but these are a completely different thread pitch, so we ordered up some more bolts. Well, essentially they're screws that are dress-up screws. They're full titanium that he's going to install a little later, probably in another video, but just for now we're going to use the black screws to get this on the car.
All right, so if in case you guys didn't know, there's 2 screws on this side over here, 2 screws on this side, and there's 2 in the top of the storage and 2 at the bottom of the storage. And once you take all of those out, this box just lifts right out. I've already removed the screws holding this piece in, so I just have to take this cap off over here. There's a couple screws here on the underside of this, and once I take those off, this whole centerpiece will come off. So this part comes out, and then there are these 2 small screws holding this whole thing in at this point.
So we got Evan under the dash right now, and we just got the lid off, the metal off the lid, the front strut bar and everything out of there. Now Evan's looking for a place to run the wiring for the switch. All right, guys, it's Derek back with another clip. So for his wiring harness, we're gonna just hang up this relay somewhere, but we ran it right through the wiring harness right over here, made a little slit in the rubber. And so all we got to do realistically is connect these to the negative and positive side of the battery, and it'll have power. Right now, Evan and Brennan are currently running the switch from the passenger side, which would be our driver's side, all the way over, and then we're going to run the wires through the center console all the way to the back.
So you're able to get this wire up under the dashboard from the other side, and I'm going to be running it right up to this hole right here. So as you can see, there is a grommet here where we got some wires running. So I'm going to try to run them through there into the engine bay. So we've got these mounts up, and we're going to bring the lid out. We're going to set it down against these, and Derek and I are going to hold it on each side, and we're going to try to thread the dress-up bolts back into there to get the lid put back on the car. So we just got the fan mounted. We've remounted the lid to the actual car, and we put the strut back on, and we're just testing the fitment just to make sure that it sits flush, that nothing's too far left or right. Then we'll get everything fully tightened down and adjust as necessary.
Check your body lines as you go down. So looking pretty good. How's your side? Looking pretty good. Yeah, nice. You usually gotta slam it or something?
Yeah, I usually have to drop it for a bit, but I bet if we just like give it up. No.
Yeah, we gotta just.
So we run into a little problem. The fans stick down a little bit more than what the rain guard would, and it's colliding with the top of my strut bar that I have in here. So we're thinking if we undo the mount on that side and put it underneath the Cusco, it might have enough clearance to close. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out these panels, this strut bar and the Cusco strut bar, and we're gonna try to remount the stock one on that side, and then try closing it again and see if that will work.
Yeah, we keep hitting right about here. So, and this bar has a bump in it, as to other bars that we keep seeing on the internet are just straight across.
We've tightened this down. We removed the Cusco strut bars, and there were actually some spacers under there.
Those little things.
So we took those out. We put this back on. We tightened it down, and we're gonna see if we can close the lid now with this.
A little bit lower.
A little lower.
Hopefully it's enough to literally just get us down, but let's see it. Bring it right down. Nice. And now I'm going to shine a phone light down in here.
So we have everything installed. We do have the wires running down into the cabin now. We just have to wire it up. But for anybody that's interested in getting one of these, one thing to note is you'll have to have one of these pistons as the stock rod will attach usually right to the middle, and there's no space for that on here. So we're just now getting everything wired up. As you can see, it's coming through behind the seat here, and it's going to be tucked all the way through the center console here, so it'll be nice and hidden. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you run the negative to the positive and the positive to the negative, and that reverses the fan direction, which will pull the air from the engine bay as opposed to pushing air down into it.
Hey, what's up, guys? So it's a new day. We are hanging out over at Brendan's house today, and I'm going to wait until he drops this video. But I wanted to show you, we just gave him a hand in installing these super sick electric fans with the carbon fiber shroud. This thing is super, it's so awesome how this thing is coming together. We're still about midway through it, but I just want to show you guys it. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Derek in the engine bay right now. And one thing I wanted to show you is we're going to tie up this resistor somewhere. But for now, we're going to run this red wire to the positive side of the cable and the black wire to the negative side. So they already come with these nice little circle grommets. So I'm just going to undo the ground here, plug it in there, undo this nut right here, and put the positive side right here. And we should be good to go. Really make sure, don't go by just color, that it says positive and negative on each side of the battery. Well, all right, guys, we've got the interior trim for the frunk all back in place with the strut bar. Everything is wired up nice and clean. Brendan is currently assembling the interior. And back here, we got the fans all hooked up, and we pressed the button. We're going to wire in our own switch, but these things really, really push some air. All right, Brendan's going to press the button. Woo, it is really hot out, guys, so, like, This pushes some real heat out. This is something that you're going to want to definitely turn on once your vehicle gets to about operating temperature, because you're going to want your vehicle to heat up first. But this will help keep it cool, which will help keep you in a better power band, essentially. And even after you turn off your car and it's sitting, you can use this to just direct heat right out of the engine bay. So it'll help cool it down faster. Not something you'd want to leave running, though, for too long, because that definitely would drain your battery. I mean, these are pretty, like, what a sick mod. Here, pop the trunk, leave them on. We'll just open this right up, dude. Let's see this. The MR2 is definitely come a long way since I've known you, man. This is badass. Look at that.
So we have the fans fully installed now. So got everything wired up into the cabin now, going through the whole center console and to the battery in the front. So I put everything back together. Unfortunately, we did have two of the screw holes actually break away as we were taking the screws out. Unfortunately, it's just plastic that was holding it in. And it's old, it's what, 28 years old. So I'm gonna have to figure something out and get those screws in there. This is the button that came with the system. I am gonna upgrade this to a nicer looking one, and when I get a drill, I'll be able to get it right down in here where the plate is. I'll be mounting it right here.
One thing I just wanted to note on Brendan's behalf as well is we are still in between putting the interior together, and that wire will be tucked up under the dash and ran so you can't see it once we're done.